I think a lot of people have this problem with goal setting, and it's the simple means of setting your expectations too high. I did this a lot this year. As you guys know, as I talked about in some of my past videos, one of the biggest things I wanted to do coming into this year was being more of a social person. Being able to talk to people a lot easier. Getting myself more out there and just, I don't know, just talking to more people was really what it was. And over the course of the summer, especially towards the end of it, I was hyping myself up so much. I felt like I was capable of doing this and accomplishing it with ease. And, I partially achieved it. In my mind, looking back at it, the vision I had in my head at the start of the semester looked a lot different than the actual outcome. And that should be expected, really. As somebody who overthinks when it comes to social situations, the way I envisioned it, where I had become better as a person, was a lot different. I mean a lot different. I imagined I'd be going to more parties, having an easier time talking to people, and that sort of thing. At the start of the semester, that was definitely more so the case. As the semester continued, I kind of got really burnt out with that goal because it wasn't going to the extremity that I wanted it to. I was hoping I'd be able to talk to more and more people just willingly, like randomly essentially. That did not happen. The first week it happened. The second week it kind of happened. The third week it happened a little less. And it just kind of slowly started to trickle downwards. It kind of just really started to not go the way that I wanted it to. And seeing that this was the case, I tried to change my mindset about it. I tried to essentially rewire my thinking, like in my journal sessions at night before I go to bed. I tried to talk to myself about it, reason with myself, instead of being hard on myself about it, because, at the end of the day, what good is being hard on yourself? It's not doing you any favors. You're not helping yourself out here. And it helped a bit, but it didn't make enough of a difference, because the problem was, as much as I wanted to accomplish this goal, I still wasn't taking enough initiative. I wasn't taking on the most important factor, and that being the risk factor. I was scared, really. I was scared. I was shitting bricks, being honest with you. I really, 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 really wanted this goal to come out the way that I had envisioned it in my head. And it's not too late, really. The semester might be over, but there's still a second semester ahead. So, it's okay. And I'm trying to grill that into my brain and really try to tell myself that. We got a whole other semester ahead. We got, I don't know, however many more years of college ahead of me. One semester is really not the end of the world. Sure, this one, it didn't go as intended. But this is okay. Because you can't forget about the positives that came from it. And there are plenty, and I mean plenty of positives that came from the semester for me. For example, I met a lot of new friends. I expanded the friend group. If anything, I became involved with more friend groups. I did talk to more people ultimately. Not in the way I'd hoped. But I did. I talked to more people at the end of the day, and that's the most important part. I got more so involved. I joined clubs. I went to some parties, I didn't go to the extremity in that range like I thought I would. I thought my schedule would be jam-packed with clubs. I'd be going to parties every weekend. Not every weekend, but you know what I'm trying to say. More so compared to what I did last year, which was not at all. And I did go to a few this year. I went to 3 or 4, something like that. Nothing crazy. But it was cool. I also really wanted to work more on my open-mindedness about things. And I also think that was achieved. But at the same time, I did achieve these, but I hyper-focused on some of these goals, and I really mentally burnt myself out in the process. Here I am at the end of the semester with the same goals that I had at the start in mind, but they're not, the flame in my head, the spark to do those is not as strong as it used to be. And I think that's because I was just spending too much time trying to do those things. I was thinking about them too much. You see, being in your head about these kind of things is dangerous. So dangerous. When you're in your head about these goals and you're thinking on them, when you have moments to do them, you're not going to do them. As we've kind of discussed in this channel, when you hyper-focus on certain things, odds are you're not going to accomplish them to the way that you were hoping to. And that's a thing you have to work on, really. It's a skill to be able to shut that overthinking part of your brain off. And it's still something I haven't fully achieved yet. You know, I've gotten better at it, 100%. I've made progress at it, but there's still more to do. You know, I shouldn't even say "but" in the sentence because I'm leaving it on a negative note. I've worked on my goals in this case. That's how I'm going to phrase it. I've worked on my goals, and we have a long journey ahead of us. This is not the limits to my capabilities. I will be able to fully achieve my goals. It's just going to take time, and I got to be patient. That's all it really comes down to. Patience is your key. Patience is the key. Confidence is your friend. Simple as that. But where am I going with this video? What I'm trying to say is, to sum it up, don't set your goal expectations so high. Don't have your goals up here when mentally you're only ready for like right here, you know? Diving in the deep end is great, but diving in the deep end also takes a lot out of you. And if you can keep doing it, great, but a lot of people can't do that. You can only dive into the deep end so many times before you drown, you know? You can only do that so many times until your brain is just exhausted and can't do it anymore. And that's kind of the point I felt like I was starting to get myself to. I was kind of starting to drive myself into that kind of territory where with the goals I had in mind, I was kind of diving into the deep end for what was more than what I could handle mentally. And I learned that, you know? I learned that. But in the same sense, I know that there are certain things that I should have done this semester that, if I had done them, they would have made all the difference. And if anything, I would have been glad I did them. But again, I got a whole nother semester ahead. So yeah. What I'm trying to say is, keep your goals within your reach. If you can only go a certain way and you can only reach out a certain extent, then go that certain extent and don't try to push for more, you know? The growth to become a better person is kind of like a race in a sense. It's like a marathon. If you expend all your energy too quickly on growing as a person and trying to achieve a certain goal, you're going to run out of energy pretty fast and you're going to burn out pretty fast as well. Do what you can handle. And remember that nothing can be expected. You can't predict an outcome of what's going to happen with your goals. You know, nothing in life is expected. But keep your goals in reach. And don't kill yourself mentally in the process. That's all I got for today. Stay blessed.